Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace, a bracelet, and a pair of earrings today using some of the beads that came in the most recent bargain bead box, the one for April 2024. It's called the Blooming Branches collection. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it where I go over everything that came in the box. I have a coupon code, it's Teresa2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I just couldn't seem to stop at a necklace with this one. I ended up with a whole entire set that I'm going to make here, and it probably surprises none of you that I gravitated toward the purple beads first. I'm going to be using the 8mm Mountain Jade Dyed Dolomite Violet round beads and the 4x3mm Malaysia Jade Dyed Quartz Faceted Amethyst Rondelle beads, and I've got the 10x11mm pressed glass flower beads I'm going to use in various places here. I've got some bead caps from my stash. This is going to be my focal. I've got a little 10mm link in here from my stash, a couple of little 4mm jump rings. I've got a head pin and 2 eye pins. And I think the head pin is 21 gauge and the eye pins are 20 gauge. I've got 2 little trays here with bindings in them, one for my necklace and one for my bracelet. They pretty much got the same bindings in them. They've got lobster clasps, wire guardians, crimp tubes. I've got some chain in the tray that I'm going to make the necklace with. I've got some chain out of my stash. I wanted to use the chain that came in the box because it's so pretty, but I didn't have any jump rings that I could get through it because the links were so small and all my jump rings were just too thick. I couldn't get them through there. So I've just got a couple pieces of chain from my stash. And I've got an little piece of extender chain in there. I'm going to hang one of these little rondelle beads off the extender chain as a dangle. And I have a ball head pin in there to do that with. And I think that's everything. I can't remember but if I said jump rings, but I have jump rings in there. And the tray with the findings for the bracelet is the same, except I'm going to hang one of these flower beads off of it as a dangle. And the only chain I'm putting on it, of course, is the extender chain. And then in here's what I'm going to use for my earrings. I've already got one of the earrings made, but I'll be using in total 6 of the flower beads, 2 of the 8mm beads, 4 of the little rondelles here, 4 bead caps. There's some jump rings in there, and it would be 2 head pins, and I think 6 eye pins is what I would be using for both total for both earrings. I'm going to be using my soft flex beading wire in fine. This is 21 strand and it's the satin silver color. I've got my bead stopper. I'm going to be using these silver 11-0 Miyuki seed beads to space out the beads. I'll be using my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, both pairs of my crimping pliers, both pairs of my cutters, my flat nose pliers, and I've already used my memory wire cutters to cut my chain. And I'll be using my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find in the description box below that didn't come in the box. So hold on, I'm going to go ahead and string the necklace up because I don't want you all to have to wait while I string these little tiny seed beads and these bead caps. So I'm going to go ahead and string the necklace up, and when I get back I'll show you what my pattern is and we'll crimp it. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my necklace strung up here, but I completely forgot that I need to build my focal. And I forgot to mention that I've got a little bell bead in here too that I've got on my necklace. I should have built my focal and put it on the bell bead before I strung up my necklace, but I didn't. I forgot. So I need to build my focal. I also forgot when I told you what I had in there for my earrings, I've got a couple of the links that I'm going to use. These same links that I'm going to use in the earrings, and of course I've got a couple of ear wires in there. So I'm going to take my head pin and put one of my little flower beads on here. And I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers. I'm going to make a wrap loop. I'm going to bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, and I'm going to try to make a tiny little loop here because I want this loop to kind of be hidden up in my next flower, so I want it to be small. So I'm going to go close to the tip of my round nose pliers. I'm going to bend the pin back till it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. I'm going to start to wrap. I want to make sure to get that first wrapping under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. Although I don't think it really matters that much with this, because like I said, I'm going to try to get it to sort of hide up in the next little flower bead. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. That's usually about 3 wraps. And that's not the prettiest loop I've ever made, but let's see if I can straighten it up a little bit here. Like I said, it didn't really matter that much because hopefully it's going to be hidden up in the next little flower bead. Now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire, and I use a different pair of cutters for craft wire and head pins and eye pins than I do for bead stringing wire. I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burr. That I use the half circle on each side of these crimping pliers to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire. Okay, now I'm going to take one of my eye pins and open it and thread on my little dangle that I just made. Close my pin back. Now I'm going to put on another flower bead. And then my loop is pretty much hidden under that flower bead. Now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to go a little bit above the bead because this time I'm going to do a simple loop. So I'm going to go just a little bit above the bead because I don't want to crack my bead. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to cut off and leave about 1/4 of an inch of the pin. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to go to the very end of my pin here. Make sure there's nothing sticking out on this side. I'm going to start to roll my loop down here on the barrel, and then I'm going to go up here to the tip and finish rolling my loop because I want to have a little tiny loop. And I'm not very good at simple loops. And that doesn't look good at all. Let's see if I can straighten that up. Cock the neck back a little bit and make it look a little better. Go back in with my round nose pliers and finish rolling my loop. I've got to get it turned around the right way. Okay, I think that's probably about as good as I'm going to be able to do. Now I'm going to do that again. I'm going to take another eye pin and open the eye of my eye pin and thread what I've got made so far on here. Close it back. Take another flower. And a bead cap in that little tray, and I don't know why. Now I'm going to take my pliers, go a little bit up the bead so I don't crack my bead. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. Take my cutters, cut off and leave about 1/4 of an inch of the pin. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and go, well, go to the end here and start to roll my loop. And then go to the tip and finish rolling my loop. Make sure to get it closed really well. Okay, so that's what I've got now. Now I'm going to take my little link here and one of these 4mm jump rings, and open my jump ring and thread my little dangles that I've made here onto my link. Now I'm going to take another jump ring and open it up and thread on my little, put it on my bail and thread my link on here and close it back. So that's going to be the focal of my necklace. Probably going to be hard to see like laying down on my mat like that, but that's going to be the focal. And I forgot to get my crimp tubes and wire guardians out, so hold on, I'll get them out and then I'll show you what my pattern is and I'll be back. Okay, I've got all my findings out here now, and I'm going to start with my crimp tubes and my wire guardians. And I've got for my pattern, I've got bead caps around all the beads and seed beads between all the beads. And I've got one rondelle, one 8mm, one rondelle, 3 8mm, one rondelle, 5 8mm, one rondelle, 3 8mm, one rondelle, 1 8mm, and under my little bail bead I've got a couple of seed beads so that my bail won't be resting directly on my bead stringing wire. And then I have the exact same thing on the other side. So now I'm just going to crimp here. I'm going to take my crimp tube and put it on here in my wire guardian. And I'm going to take my pliers and tuck in my little wire guardian. And now I'm going to go down the other channel of my wire guardian, back into my crimp tube. And I'm going to hold my wires apart because I don't want them to get crossed. Because when I crimp, I want both of my wires to land in their own little channel, and they won't do that if they're crossed. So I'm going to try to hold them apart. going to take my crimping pliers and I'm going to go in that part there that has the tooth. And I'm going to lay the tooth on top of my crimp tube. Squeeze. And that puts each little wire in its own channel. Now there are 3 half circles on each side here. I'm going to go into the one in the middle one because that's the one for the 2x2 crimp tubes. I'll lay my crimp in there. Squeeze. Get a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire using the cutters that I use for bead stringing wire. Now I'm going to push all this down. And I'm going to cut my wire off my spool. I usually just leave it attached until if I know what my design's going to be, because I kind of feel like maybe I don't waste as much wire that way. Now I'm going to make sure there's no slack in my piece and that all my little bead caps are laying the way I want them to. But I don't want it to be too tight either, because if it's too tight it won't drape well. So I usually leave it kind of circled up like this, and that keeps it from being too tight. Now I'm going to take my other crimp tube. Oh, and I forgot to mention, before I crimped this strip of here came to 13 inches. So now I'm going to put my other crimp tube on here and my other wire guardian. And I'm going to go down the other channel of my wire guardian. At least I think I am. There we go. Now I'm going to go back through my crimp tube. I'm going to tuck in my little wire guardian a little bit. I'm going to hold my wires apart, keep them from getting crossed. And on this side, if I can, I like to go through a bead because it gets my hands out of the way when I'm trying to crimp, and it centers the wire guardian over that last bead. So I'm going to hold on to my wire guardian, make sure my wires are not crossed, pull my wire through. I'm going to take my crimping pliers, go the part with the tooth again, lay the tooth on top, squeeze. I'm going to turn it around and go on the part with the half circles again. Squeeze. Give a good tight squeeze. I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. So that's what I've got now. So now I'm going to put my findings on. I've got a couple of pieces of chain here. They're about 3 inches each. And I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. And open my jump ring. Thread on my chain. Thread on one side of my necklace. Close my jump ring back really well. I'm going to Take another 4mm jump ring. Open it up, put my other piece of chain on here. The other side of my necklace. Close that back really well. I knew I wasn't going to get through this without dropping something. Close my jump ring back really well. I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. Open it up. Put it on this end of my chain with my lobster clasp. Close my jump ring back really well. Now, on this side, I'm going to put an 8mm jump ring. And this little piece of extender chain is about 1.5 inches. Close it, close my jump ring back up really well. Okay, so now I'm going to make my little dangle to go off my extender chain. I'm going to take a ball head pin, one of these little rondelle beads, and I'm going to take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, around those pliers facing me, bend the wire back till it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool, kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, bring this wire down, take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start wrapping. Now I didn't do this loop very good at all. Wrap till there's no room to wrap. Oh, that looks terrible. Hold on, let me get another, well, I'll use the eye pin that I have in the little dish for my bracelet, and then I'll get another one out. This looks terrible. Cut this off and do this over. Okay, now let's start this over. Put my rondelle on here. Take my pliers and go to the tip of the pliers. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. This part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Get my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. And then just wrap till there's no room to wrap. That's much better. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. My crimping pliers and tuck in my little burr. Now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and the end of my extender chain here. Open it up. Thread my little dangle on. Close it back up. Okay. So now I'm done with my necklace. There's a little dangle. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the bracelet off camera. I'm going to just do it all off camera because I'm going to do it exactly the way I did this necklace. And when I come back, I'll show you what my pattern was with it, and then we'll make the earrings. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my little bracelet made now, and I made it just like I did the necklace. I've got bead caps around all the beads and seed beads between all the beads, except of course I don't have bead caps around the rondelles. I guess I should have said that with the necklace, but obviously I don't have bead caps around the little rondelles. I've got a rondelle 3/8 millimeters, a rondelle 5/8 millimeters, a rondelle 3/8 millimeters, and a rondelle. And then I just have a lobster clasp and jump rings and an extender chain, and I wrapped one of the little flowers and put it on the end of the extender chain. So now I'm going to make an earring, and I've already got the bottom part made because it's just exactly how I made the focal for my necklace. I've got 3 of the little flower beads connected together just exactly like I did the focal, attached to the same little link that I used in the focal. So now I'm going to take a eye pin, and I'm going to put on a rondelle and a bead cap and an 8 millimeter bead and a bead cap and a rondelle. And I'm going to make a simple loop here. So I'll go to the top, a little bit above the bead so I don't crack my bead. Bend the wire over, or the pin over at a 90-degree angle. Take my cutters, cut off leaving about 1/4 of an inch with a pin. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and go down to the end here. Start to wrap my loop, then go to the tip and wrap because I want a tiny little loop here. Make sure to get it closed really well. And it's not exactly straight with that. It's not exactly facing the same one as that one down there at the bottom, and mine rarely are when I get them made, so I'll take 2 pair of pliers and just turn them around so that they're both facing the same way. And now I'm going to take a 4 millimeter jump ring and open it up and attach this to my link. Close it back up really well. And now I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up and thread on my earring. Close my earring back, or my earring hook back. So there's my earring. So I'm going to go ahead and make the other one off. Well, I've already got the other one made, so I'm going to get all this laid out here so you can see it all, and I'll be back. Okay, there's my necklace, bracelet, and earrings set, all made from beads from the most recent Bargain Bead Box, the April 2024 Blooming Branches collection. And of course, I've still got a ton of beads left. I know all of you who get this box know that it's a really great value box. You can just get many, many pieces of jewelry out of one box. It's just a really great value. And like I said, if you're not subscribed to the box and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.